Hello internet. So this is a very quick video. It's just me rambling on about shit and stuff. But yeah, I just want to show you my new cat rig. You might notice there's not much changes, and the answer is yes. There's not much changes body wise, anyway. So the body is still the same, other than like paws and feet and stuff. But you already seen that on the previous animation I've did. The major change I want to talk about is the head, which is one of that I've been working on lately. One of the things you might notice, well, you don't, but if you're on my Twitter anyways, you might already seen how complicated it is. But now you can see that it's simplified. I've simplified the rig. It used to have a lot of bones, but then I realized that I barely use any of it. So this is just a very simple rig. These are blanks. If you notice, this pupil is based on this blank. It's something to do with the shading thing. Let me quickly show it to you, if I could find it. Whatever, it's there it is. As you can see, this is how it works. So it takes texture coordinate, uses length, color ramp, and goes to material output. I would put it I would make it go to like, what's it called? I'd put on like principled BSDF, but I want the thing about low poly stuff, especially a lot of like, one thing that a lot of people seem to miss is the fact that when you're doing low poly stuff, you're not supposed to make it shaded. The shading happens post processing. Like you make the texture shaded, but you don't actually shade the thing, unless of course you're gonna add fog. But that's how a lot of low poly lighting, especially in old games, work. There's not really any shading. It's just flat cell shit like this, kind of like Mega Man Legends, if you haven't seen that one. But yeah, it's basically just kind of like Mega Man Legends, except with less shading, I guess. I didn't really shade much. I don't know, I kind of like it. But one of the things you might notice, might be hard to look at this. But if we switch to this, if you notice this section over here, I'm not sure if I act, but over here, that's a snoot. I gave it a snoot. I did this just so that it has a much more logical side profile. Like there's a side profile. Previously it's just a flat plane. I mean, it works well, but I kind of want it to at least look like this, so that if I go sideways, the eyes still kind of make sense. Of course, the problem right now is the fact that the eyes bulge out, but that's a problem future me will deal with later. And I've done some changes with the mouth. It's still the same rig, it smiles, it goes sad. It's more clear if I do it in front like this, like that, sad, and smile. You've seen it on like the first video I ever made with this, the first version of the rig. But one of the major changes is that when it opens its mouth, it stretches over here, so that if I do a side profile like this, the mouth will still appear. So that's that. But one of the major changes is the eyes. Other than just the new rig, I made it so that I just made it simpler. So it can do the usual blinking, it can do the happy face, but because of the fact that I simplified the eyes, I could now do shit like this. It looks jank when you're up close, but if you're far away, it kind of looks alright. You see, the problem was that the rig that I was using, I based it on a tutorial I saw. Not saying that the tutorial was bad, it wasn't a great tutorial, it taught me a lot, but it turns out 99.9 of the things it's teaching is not really my, it doesn't really need, I don't really need most of the things that it's teaching me. So yeah, not to mention it can do this with the eyes now, and then it can do this. It's again a bit jank, but from afar it looks pretty decent. And not much that, again with the eyebrows, not much changes too. I just made it a bit more clear too. Over here you can see that, all the eyebrows and shit. But yeah, this is my new cat rig. I can't wait to try making dumb shit with this. I've been having a lot of ideas for like skits and shit. The reason why I made this model is because I had an idea for like short animations and skits and like like basically just really dumb video ideas, but I don't really feel like animating it. I can draw 2D stuff. I'm good at drawing. I think so anyways, but I'm not really good at animating, but I'm better at 3D animation. So yeah, which is why I made this thing. One of the cool things about this model is the fact that because of how I made it, swapping texture should be very easy. So currently this is using this texture. If I switch it to a different one, it should, yeah, it should be able to be switched into a different cat and stuff. It's really neat. Yeah, I kind of that's one of the main goals I had with this cat model is the fact that I want it to be very simple. I don't want it to be way too complicated. I want it to just be a very simple model that I can play around with. Because if your models get too complicated, if you make things way too complicated on yourself, you might be able to do a lot of stuff, but I don't think you're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. Which is why I made it very simple and as simple as I could. Because if there's any, for me anyways, if there's any kind of rough patches, it's just gonna make things very annoying for me, and I just can't be bothered with stuff like that. So yeah, new cat model. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I think it's cool.